Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Mark again here, Weatherman Plus. So let's get right into it. You can see as we go through the afternoon, it really sparks up as you go from 5 to 6 o'clock. You start getting storms building up, not only for Iowa, going down towards eastern Kansas also, but you get this line of storms that builds up. You get storms in North Dakota, you get storms going through Minnesota, but you get this reinvigorating line of storms that brews right back up as this comes across for South Dakota going into Minnesota for this evening. That's bringing damaging winds with that as well. Now, all night long, these storms are going to keep brewing through Minnesota, going towards Wisconsin. But we got some winds aloft, a little bit of winds aloft that's making some of these cells a little stronger towards central Wisconsin. Then it will fade off as you go towards early in the morning. But it's also going to bring some chances for damaging winds. Also, for these storms that brew up later on tonight that goes across Illinois, these also are bringing some damage and winds with them also. Now, the higher winds is on the northern side of Illinois with all these storms. As you go through midnight, 1 o'clock, even 2 o'clock in the morning, you get them storms passing by you as that comes by. Now, that is bringing some damage and winds with that. Before our tornado threat for today, you can see as we go through the day, it really builds up towards 6 o'clock. You get southern Minnesota still with some hail cores in them. You get all down Iowa with some hail cores, and then it still goes down into Kansas. Now, this is just going to last for a couple of hours, 3 at most, as it goes by Iowa, bringing that line of storms all the way till 7 o'clock. Keep going all the way to 8 o'clock. Once you get towards 8 o'clock, then you start losing a lot of your instability. Becomes regular thunderstorms up here. Still can bring the damage and winds that I showed you. But your chances for your tornadoes goes down. And you see it goes all the way down towards southern Iowa, towards Des Moines as you go towards 8 o'clock tonight. Then it bows out as it goes for Kansas. Kansas is the one that has all night long. You get all these cells building all night, early in the morning. Got hail cores that's going to be with them all night long. Look at that, all the way until it goes towards Tulsa for 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. Losing a lot of its umph by then. But it is bringing chances for hail on the southern tip of those storms coming from Kansas going into Oklahoma. And look at this, right around 11 o'clock. You still got some strong hail cores coming down on those storms. Now for tomorrow, this is going to change. It has upgraded a different category. You can see the enhanced risk has shrunk considerably. Now as it goes through Oklahoma, you can see the latest one at 11 o'clock really shows all those nasty hail cores, but then it starts kicking up for tomorrow. But first you got overnight storms that comes by for Illinois, that comes by for Wisconsin. That's bringing you the chances for those damaging winds. I'll show you. But for tomorrow, it builds right back up along the south central. You'll see this big line of storms just congeal right together as you go toward 5 o'clock, bringing in chances for tornadoes. You still got them right in that enhanced section over here for western Kansas. This is where they thought a strong tornado will be possible. You also get them going down Texas some as you go through the evening. And this is once again for tomorrow. As you go a little bit later in the evening, you can see this cell so far is showing as it goes through Kansas towards Wichita, it starts weakening. It becomes a very weak cell. Wakita, Wichita, if I said this wrong, I do apologize. And you see as you go towards 9 o'clock, these cells build up in Texas. You get hail cores as it goes towards 9 and 10 o'clock, still in these storm cells. But watch what they do. They do something different than what they showed earlier. So as it goes through the evening towards DFW, starts weakening a little bit. You still got some hail in there, maybe some small pea-sized hail that can come out of that. Before that, it is going to be a little bit bigger hail. As you go towards midnight, that goes right by the DFW, right towards Shreveport and Texarkana. And look at that, big bowing out with some damaging winds. Also the hail cores. Now this goes into Thursday morning, bringing the hail cores in that. Now this last piece, this last bit of the run with HRRR, and I know it's HRRR, but it's the last bit of the model run. This portion right here more than likely will change by the time we get to that factor. But you can see how it changed from the information earlier. It builds up in Texas, you get all these storms, but it leaves southern Texas all the way towards Houston alone, and it stays more northern right there. So that portion has changed. Plus, as you go through the evening, you still got more storms for tomorrow building up for the Dakotas, building up for Nebraska, and that goes into Minnesota and Iowa again. That's not going to be tornadic in nature. There's just going to be some thunderstorms passing by, but it will build right back up as you go into tomorrow. And you see right around 11 p.m. when you're getting these strong systems going right in front of the DFW, you got them again going into Nebraska right before Grand Isle. So just be aware of that. You do have these storms moving by. They are changing. So look at your latest information. As you go from 5 and 6 o'clock on, you get those thunderstorms that's building up over for South Dakota like I was showing you. And you get them for southern Minnesota, for Iowa. They start reaching out towards Kansas. We can also see you getting that 40 to that 50 miles per hour wind gusts on those storm cells. Also was building up for Iowa. So as you keep going, you can see these storm cells that not only for Kansas, for Iowa, Minnesota, going into Wisconsin. Then you got them storm cells going through Illinois as well. And then you got it for the rest of the evening as it goes down into Oklahoma. Now you can see once again with those winds that it does pick up to the 50 miles per hour wind gusts going through southeastern Minnesota, going through northern Wisconsin. But northern Illinois, those storm cells bring 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts with them. And as you go through the evening, it starts picking up for eastern Kansas as it goes down towards northern Texas with the 40 and 50 miles per hour wind gusts. Now for tomorrow, this builds right back up for tomorrow evening. This is bringing winds with it as well. It's going to bring 50 miles per hour wind gusts on the southern side, even up to 60 right there. And on the northern side, it's going to start building all the way into Kansas, bringing those 50 miles per hour wind gusts. Now, the ones that are going through Oklahoma, through the DFW, and all the way towards, well, so far it's still showing Louisiana till the early morning hours. Those are the ones that are bringing high winds as well. 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts as you go all evening long and into the early morning hours all the way towards that bowing out in the morning. Bringing 50 and 60, even getting some 70 in there in those Browns miles per hour wind gusts. Looks like the strongest so far is going to happen as you go through 9 and 10 o'clock for tonight as this storm starts building and goes through Oklahoma. Looks like two strong little supercells potentially right there is what that's resembling to me as that builds up and goes to the east, showing you chances for hail will come out of some of Nebraska, some of southeastern South Dakota, stronger chances for Iowa, maybe even larger hail as that goes through. Remember, this is your big hot spot right here from Iowa and eastern Kansas. Southern Minnesota, chances for hail. Northern Wisconsin, a little chance for some small hail with those storms coming by. Then as it comes through early in the morning, as it goes down eastern Kansas, bring you chances for hail all the way into Oklahoma. Then some for northern Texas, all the way to northern Mexico, all the way to early in the morning. Then for tomorrow, those storms spark right back up, bringing chances for large hail going through western Kansas, going through southwestern Nebraska, going across southern Nebraska. Also what builds up for Texas, going towards the DFW and Oklahoma, bringing chances for hail on both days. But remember, you will be in this pattern all the way until Friday with your flooding. This whole area is in a slight risk for flash flooding. So just remember that. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. I hope this update has helped you understand what is coming with these storms and the changes that has become, especially for Texas. That's a big difference. And Illinois, those storms coming through, bringing some chances for damage and winds. That's a change as well. So remember the updates. Help share it to your neighbors. Share it to your friends. Help your enemies. Remember, help as many people as you can. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. Now, before you go on with this evening, Psalm 6, 1 through 4. O Lord, rebuke me not in thine anger, neither chasten me in thy hot displeasure. Have mercy upon me, O Lord, for I am weak. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are vexed. My soul is also sore vexed. But thou, O Lord, how long? Return, O Lord, deliver my soul. O save me for thy mercy's sake. Amen. Have a great night, everybody. I hope everybody will be safe through these storms. I wish the best for every single one of y'all. And remember, all glory always goes to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope he keeps you safe, you and your neighbors, and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you in the morning.